Now let's learn about the covalency. See, we know that certain atoms of certain elements are going for bond formation in order to obtain or achieve the noble gas configuration. So in doing so, we have also known that they share a number of electrons. So covalence is nothing but it's the number of electrons contributed by an atom, that is a single atom, okay, for sharing with other atoms to achieve the noble gas configuration. That is covalency. For example, hydrogen will have a covalency of 1, or else oxygen, when it forms O double bond O, one of the single oxygen atom will always have a valency of 2 because it has shared 2 number of electrons for the bond formation with oxygen, thus maintaining its stability. Okay, similarly for N triple bond N, it is the covalency of each nitrogen atom would be 3 because it has shared 3 electrons in the covalent pool to form bond with the other nitrogen atom and thus attaining the noble gas configuration. This is how we find out the covalency. Simply, we can also say that the number of covalent bonds formed by an atom of the element with other atoms is also covalency. See, here in the case of nitrogen, nitrogen atom is forming 3 covalent bonds, hence the covalency is 3. Again, covalency we can find out through this formula. It's like 8 minus the group number of the Mendeleev's table. For example, carbon. Carbon comes in 4th group in the Mendeleev table. So 8 minus 4, that is the covalency of carbon would be 4. Okay, in this way. Oxygen comes in the 6th group in the Mendeleev table. So henceforth what will happen? 8 minus 6 equals to 2 will be the covalency of oxygen. Again, covalency will also be calculated by this formula, that is total number of unpaired electrons in the s and p orbitals. You already have learnt about the configurations in accustomed with the s and the p orbitals. So with the orbitals you have learned the electronic configuration, hence you can understand what I am now telling you. Hydrogen is having only one electron, that is in the first shell. We used to learn it in class 10 in that way. First shell, it is having one electron. But here we will be writing it as 1s orbital. So 1s orbital, here you will have one electron only. So the covalency of hydrogen would be 1. For fluorine, its atomic number you have to know first. It's 9, so the number of electrons are 9, so hence you arrange it. So here 1 is 2 electrons will be arranged. Here 2 is 2 electrons will be arranged. How many are left then for fluorine? Okay, 2 is already done. 4 out of 9, 4 are done, so 5 are left. Hence now p orbitals will be filled. How it will be filled? It will be first filled with a single electron and then pairing happens. So this is the here the electron comes in this position. Okay, so one of the electron here remains unpaired. Okay, we are talking about the unpaired electron. Let me draw here again the 2p orbital because here it's not clear. Okay, so you have 3 such px, py and pz orbitals. So 2p is the thing. For fluorine I am drawing, okay, for fluorine. So you are having here only 5. So first of all fill single and then pairing. This pairing happens. Okay, this pairing happens. So here you can find that this is the unpaired electron left out. So again the covalency remains as 1. For oxygen similarly, if you do, I just draw the 2s and 2p here. Okay, else I'll draw the complete one. Oxygen is having 8 electrons, so it is completely filled first, then this, 4 done, 4 more left, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so here you can find 2 unpaired electrons, hence the covalency is 2. For nitrogen, it's 7 electrons, so here 2, 4 done, 3 left. First you have to fill singly because all the p orbitals here, px, py and pz, are same energy. So you have to first singly fill the electrons. So you have covalency now 3, as you have 3 unpaired electrons here. Now let us go for some other cases where you will be seeing variable covalencies. This arises only from for the elements like phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine and others, where there is a possible, where there is a free d orbitals already present. Okay, because we know that in the second period we don't have d orbitals at all, because 2d doesn't exist. But for the third period we have 3d orbitals with us, because we know that at the third period we have 3d orbitals. There is a possibility of variable covalency. Now this variable covalency will depend on the number of unpaired electron in the excited state. For example, phosphorus is showing 3 and 5 covalencies. So phosphorus atom in the ground state, I'll only draw this 3s and 3p, so that to better to go into the space, okay? Otherwise place won't be sufficient. When you see the phosphorus configuration, as it is 15 electrons, you arrange it in the way similar way, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, and then you go for 3s2, and you have how many of 3p's? You have only 3p's, 3p's, okay? So let me draw the 3s first. 3s2 we already have, and we have 3p, this 3 unpaired electrons. No electrons in the d orbital, it's just left out, but it is present, d orbitals are present, okay? So from here, in the ground state, compounds can be formed where the covalency will be shown as 3 because of this 3 unpaired electron, as you can see in the case of PCl3. Again, if we see in the excited state, that is also possible, and that is more stable again. This s orbital electron can jump to the next d orbital. Thus what will be formed here? Here 1 electron will be left. Here already 3 electrons were there, right? And one of the electron has jumped from s to d. Thus we have how many unpaired electrons? Number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We have 5 unpaired electrons, and so the covalency here rises as 5. Okay, so that is in the formation of PCl5 we can see that. Okay, next we go for some other elements where there is a sulfur. Sulfur shows 2, 4 and 6 covalencies. I will show you the how. Because sulfur in the ground state, when you see, it is 16 electrons, so 3s2 of course and 3p4. So 1, 2, 3 and here pairing occurs 4. So 2 unpaired electrons left. Hence for this state, for the ground state, you have the covalency of 2. Now in the sulfur in the first excited state, because first excited state will happen when 3p electron, the paired electron, will jump to the d orbital, which is present in sulfur. So now you have 3s pairing is already there, 3p 1 only here, because one of that has gone to the d orbital, so this has gone to the d orbital. Okay, so from here you have how many unpaired electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hence you have covalency 4, HCl4. Okay, that is possible here. So this is why it shows the covalency of 4. And the next one, sulfur in the second excited state, where from the s paired s orbital with the sufficient energy, it will jump to the next d orbital. So here only 1 electron left. Here we already had 3 and we had this also, and now we have this. So how many electrons, unpaired electrons, do we have here? This is 1, 2, okay, 3, 4, 5 and 6. We have 6 of them, and so the covalency here is 6. So SF6 is possible. Okay, so the compounds, in different compounds, sulfur may show the valencies as 2, 4 and 6. All of them will be the stable ones. Now, this is a question for you, that chlorine shows 1, 3, and 5, and 7 covalencies, and you have to show it in the similar way. What you have to do is first write the chlorine atom in the ground state. Okay, just show with the third period, this 3s, 3p, and 3d you show. Chlorine is also going to obviously have 3d orbitals. Okay, then you consequently understand and show how the chlorine shows this all valencies. Okay, this is up to this, and you show me that one which I have given to you. Okay.